Good evening and welcome to the November 12th regular board meeting of the Carpinteria Unified School District. If I could everybody please stand for the flag. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Break. Roll call. Sorry, guys. Aaron, would you mind doing the roll call for me?
Eric? Aye. Jamie?
Aye.
And Jeanette?
Aye. And,
Am I?
okay.
I'm here.
Now can everybody please stand for the flag salute? Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, now that we've all stretched our up-downs, we are going to move into public comment for items not on this evening's agenda. So if you'd like to speak on something that is not within this evening's agenda, please step up to the podium now.
So thank you. As an elected employee representative, I'll provide comments this evening on behalf of district employees. In the last few years, CUSD's board has done much to reduce the public's ability to provide public comment on district operations and decision-making. After the arrival of Ms. Diamond and Mr. Smith, the board ended the historic practice of allowing members of the public to cede speaking minutes to another speaker. This reduced the possibility of speaking on a single agenda item from up to 9 minutes to just 3 minutes per speaker. The board pursued this 66% reduction in available public speaker minutes, regardless of the importance, scope, or impact of the agenda item had on district employees and students and families. Then, in conflict with 25 years of practice, the school board further reduced public comment on each individual agenda item. Now, public speakers are only permitted 3 minutes per broad agenda category versus 3 minutes per agenda item. For example, just this evening, this change accounts for a 60% reduction in speaking opportunities on top of the previous 66% reduction in speaking minutes after the board prohibited the ceding of speaking minutes. Unfortunately, restrictions on public participation did not end there. 3 months ago, the board reduced community input even further, cutting the number of regularly scheduled board meetings in half from just 2 meetings a month to now only a single regular meeting per month. As a result, just half the opportunities to publicly address the board remain in place, and that's after the 60% reduction in agendized opportunities and 66% reduction in overall speaker minutes. When compared to just 3 years ago, the board's arbitrary changes to public speaking opportunities leaves just 16% of the total speaking minutes per agenda item available to a member of the public. No wonder board meetings are often so poorly attended. These decisions were not designed to increase transparency, participation, and buy-in, and it is correct to predict that they will continue to undermine the quality of the board's decision-making. Unfortunately, when examining the performance of our current district officials, Ms. Alcaraz excluded, examples of poorly informed decision-making abound. In 3 years, the decisions of district officials have contributed to the loss of approximately 275 district students, sharp declines in student achievement, and a 7- to 8-fold increase in annual legal costs, and that's before the $5 million in 1970s abuse case settlements are even counted. District officials must begin to listen to those who work directly with students and parents, as well as listen to the vast majority of families who are served by district employees but do not share the privilege and economic stability enjoyed by our school board members. It is time to remove your fingers from your ears. When you do, elected employee leadership will still be here, ready to work with you directly. Thank you.
Okay. Any further public comment for items not on this evening's agenda?
Yeah. This is Jay's translation in Spanish. La habilidad de un oficial de distrito para recibir y entender hará que tu presentación sea exitosa o no. Sin embargo, en los últimos años, el Consejo Escolar ha hecho mucho para reducir la participación del público en operaciones y decisiones del distrito. El público solamente tiene 3 minutos para hablar de varios asuntos escolares en una sola categoría. Después de la llegada de Miss Diamond y Mr. Smith, el consejo escolar terminó el ceder minutos a otras personas. Además, el consejo escolar ha disminuido un 66% en la participación, sin importar el impacto que esto tenga en los estudiantes y en las familias. Desafortunadamente, la restricción al público continuó. Ahora las juntas escolares son mensuales, no quincenales. Por ello, el público casi no viene a las juntas. Ustedes en sus decisiones no quieren aumentar la participación del público. El desempeño de ustedes, con la excepción de Ms. Alcaraz, ha sido pobre. En 3 años, sus decisiones pobres han contribuido a la pérdida de 275 estudiantes en el distrito. También el bajo desempeño académico, así como aumentó los costos legales y eso es antes de los casos del abuso sexual de los 70s. El distrito necesita escuchar a quienes trabajan directamente con los estudiantes y a las familias. El distrito escolar necesita una guía, un modelo, consejería de transparencia. El liderazgo electo del sindicato espera trabajar directamente con ustedes para desempeño positivo de los estudiantes y familias. All right, so now I would like to proceed with my own public comment. First, in Spanish and then in English. Okay. El 14 de octubre de 2025, sección G, costos del distrito, a la marca de 1 minuto 52 segundos, durante mi presentación, cuando mencionaba que el distrito debía dedicarse a los estudiantes y no en demandas fallidas, tirando millones de dólares, que debían cuidar el presupuesto, así como lo hace la ciudad de Carpinteria, incluyendo lo legal. Noté que la superintendente Rigby y el señor Schaefer reían. El señor Schaefer dijo que se reía no de lo que yo estaba diciendo, sino de los oficiales de la ciudad de Carpinteria. Les mencioné que eso iba en contra de las regulaciones del Brown Act. Las regulaciones del Brown Act mencionan que cuando la superintendente es irrespetuosa, el consejo escolar pone orden. Pero el señor Schaefer es el consejo escolar. En este caso, es la presidenta escolar, Jamie Dimon, quien debe poner orden. All right, now, in English. On October 14, 2025, Section G, the warrants, at the 1 minute and 52 seconds mark, when I was pointing out that the district should focus on education, not on lawsuits wasting millions of dollars, I noticed the laughing of Superintendent Rigby and Clerk Schaefer. I had just mentioned that the district should take care of its budget, just like the city officials take care of its budget and legal fees. I mentioned that the Brown Act says that when the superintendent is disrespectful, the school board intervenes. But Clerk Schaefer was involved. The board president, in this case, Jamie Dimon, should intervene or should have intervened. Point number 2, regarding the local bond, that the issuance how can I make a public comment when I didn't know about the special meeting? Ms. Alcaraz, you voted in favor of that meeting, so you are responsible for it.
You.
Still have time. Yeah, it's not even 2 minutes.
I don't know, I changed it to when he started speaking on his own.
Yeah.
No, it's no, no. I time myself. And
Oh, you didn't give him, you didn't restart it after he finished his Spanish
No.
comments?
So when I put it, when he started doing the translation, I put 3.
No.
Then when he said, I am going to give my own comments now, I changed it again to 3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
so he did it in Spanish, and then he gets another 3 in English.
Yes, but
Oh,
probably
so you mean his
yes.
own comments?
Yeah,
Correct.
his own
Yes.
comments.
Okay, that's
So
We don't need that. I'm working for you here. How about you just not work against me? I'm trying to help you.
Yes.
Calm down, please. Okay. So please go ahead.
how many minutes you want me to give?
Well, he had about a minute in, so give 2 to finish his comments. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to start all over again. The second point. Ms. Alcaraz, you voted in favor of that municipal bond. You hesitated. I noticed it. You should have voted no, or you should have abstained. I did it a few times from 2016 to 2020. Now, you are also responsible of that debt. According to the district, that bond will be used to pay for the settlement of the 4th man of the sex abuse of the 70s. What is something to be worried about is that the district has not paid all of its legal obligation, meaning money judgments. So I hope, and the community hopes, that that bond is used for the purpose of that settlement with the 4th man, and not used for current or future legal mistakes. Thank you.
Okay. Wonderful. Okay, moving on. We're moving on to the approval of the minutes for October 14th and the special meeting of October 28th. I do have one correction for the October 14th minutes. It mentions in, where is it? C6, I believe it is. C5, C5. It record, was it C5? C6. Sorry, I'm just pulling back up. I lost my spot. ABC. Here we go. Here we go. Under C6, approval of agenda and consent agenda, it states, lists the board members who were voting, and it accidentally wrote Green instead of Alcaraz. So C6, when it comes to a motion of approval, I will ask with the amendment of striking Green and adding Alcaraz. So public comment for B3, approval of the minutes, A and B.
Not 2 public comment opportunities, but 1 for both meetings, is that correct?
Yeah.
So just as CUSD's officials intended, there is no way to properly cover the breadth of events that took place at the past 2 board meetings in just 3 minutes. That said, we'll focus our attention on the October 28th school board meeting, where district officials unanimously increased CUSD's ability to take on debt so it could pay off financial obligations imposed by multiple judicial bodies and state courts. Let the minutes show that on Tuesday, October 28th, CUSD held a special board meeting, but for elected employee leaders and a CUSD lawyer, no members of the public were present. Let the minutes show, in an effort to free up funds to pay legal penalties associated with CUSD's unlawful behavior, district officials unanimously improved CUSD's ability to take on increased debt to pay off other costly legal obligations. Let the minutes show that recently Fitch Ratings New York revised its outlook on CUSD's issuer default rating to negative. Let the minutes show, although district officials said the increased debt will only be used to settle 1970s sexual abuse lawsuits, there would be no need to pursue this debt funding scheme had district officials not squandered over $3.5 to $4 million trying to silence employees and their elected employee representatives. Let the minutes show that a significant chunk of the remaining legal debts CUSD must still resolve result from district officials' decision to engage in unlawful behaviors against special education families. Ms. Rigby. Let the minutes show that elected employee leadership discouraged district officials from changing board policies to resolve their previous fiscal mismanagement on the backs of local taxpayers. Let the minutes show that, but for Ms. Alcaraz, the very same district officials who led CUSD into many of its unlawful actions are the same district officials supporting the October 28th debt funding scheme. Let the minutes show these same district officials provided no assurances that they won't use this new debt relief to pursue the same unlawful behaviors that put them in this position in the first place. And let the minutes show that employees can be proud of one detail. Even though district officials tried behind closed doors to bait employee representatives into supporting their debt funding scheme, we refused, significantly reducing the amount of interest taxpayers will end up paying for CUSD's fiscal mismanagement. Mr. Delgado will translate for the union. Thank you.
Rogelio Delgado, Carpinteria resident. Number one, que los minutos muestren que la Junta Especial del 28 de octubre se hizo sin personas de la comunidad, porque no se les avisó. Número dos, que los minutos muestren que para liberar más fondos para el comportamiento ilegal, los oficiales del distrito unánimemente aprobaron endeudar al distrito para pagar otros costos legales. Número tres, que los minutos muestren que este endeudamiento no hubiera sido necesario de no haber tirado de $3.5 millones a 4 millones, tratando de silenciar empleados y a sus representantes. Que los minutos muestren que estudiantes de educación especial han sido víctimas de abusos. Thank you.
Okay, we are going to make a motion that we approve the minutes of the regular meeting of October 14th with the amendment striking Green and adding Alcaraz to C6. And then also approval of the minutes of the special meeting of October 28th. May I get a second?
Second that?
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. B4, approval of the agenda and consent agenda. And I do, before we get to public comment, I do have a change on that. I will be bringing forward G2, A, and B to happen before D, public interests and reports and presentations. So G2, A, and B. Oh, sorry, just A. G2A will get moved before D. So immediately following approval of agenda and consent agenda, we will go into G2A. And I will allow for...
Is it 171? No? Okay, but 20, okay.
Okay, again, G2A will happen before D is what I will be asking to amend the agenda to. And people will have the opportunity to comment on G2A before we vote on it, in addition to their time for the rest of G. They'll have that separate. So there'll be a public comment on G2A and then also public comment on the rest of G later when it's time in the agenda. So public comment for approval of the agenda and consent agenda at this time.
All righty, thank you. So in regard to the consent agenda, item number 5, union leadership again asked why the regular October payroll for 2025 does not discriminate between A, the cost of classified site-level support staff working directly with kids, and B, the cost of senior district administrators. Why doesn't CUSD separate the costs of bus drivers, food service workers, instructional aides, secretarial staff, and custodians from the costs of superintendent, assistant superintendent, and human resource coordinator, whose salaries are 5 to 6 times those of classified employees who work directly with students? We asked that question at the last several board meetings. Not only did district officials fail to answer it at minute 20:35, all but Ms. Rigby alleged that they did not even know what expenditures were included in the data guiding their decisions. Last board meeting, after assuring the public otherwise, Ms. Rigby stated that administrative salary and benefit costs are not included in the classified totals under consent agenda item number 5. At minute 1:27:49, Mr. Caff stated that he did not believe that admin were included, but said he would check. Mr. Caff, a full month has passed. Have you checked? If so, could you please share what you found once this public comment is over? For those wondering why it matters, elected employee leadership again shares several concerns. By conflating admin costs with classified unit costs, the public cannot compare the cost of administrators with the cost of those who work directly with students. By conflating these costs, CUSD can misrepresent the number of dollars it spends on on classified staff working directly with students. For example, CUSD recently suggested at board meetings and in the local paper, an average of 22.87 students are served by each instructional aide, when actually the majority of general education classes are populated with 40 to 70% students designated as special education, 504, and or non-English speaking. And simultaneously, 95% of the instructional aid support has been removed from those classes. Conflating the admin and unit member salaries also makes it easier to hide this unpleasant fact. Over the last 5 years, CUSD has spent less of its operating budget on all classified staff than it spent on legal services and related operating expenditures associated with administrative misconduct and mismanagement. Shame on you, CUSD, for spinning these facts. Your behavior in this area is neither ethical nor professional, and it undermines the achievement and education of the vast majority of students in the district.
Okay. I will move to approve the agenda and consent agenda with the amendment of moving G2A ahead of D. May I get a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Okay. Roll call.
Eric,
Aye.
Jeanette,
Aye.
Jamie,
Aye.
and I am I.
Okay. And with that, we are going to move to G2A. Gifts, grants, donations. We have a donation from Carpinteria Education Foundation to Carpinteria Unified School District, and we are being asked to accept this donation from CEF of $20,000 to CUSD for additional enrichment expenses. Thank you so much. Do we have any questions on this item for the board? Okay, no. Okay. Public comment on G2A.
Did we forget to give Mr. Caff an opportunity to answer that question?
G2A, public comment, is what we were on right now.
I guess we didn't forget. Is that right? Thank you.
Okay, so no public comment on G2A. May I get a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve with gratitude.
Second. Thank you very much.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you so much. And I believe we have a check presentation.
Please come up
please come up and right up here. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, CEF, and everybody that showed up. Thank you to our community that supports CEF and our students. We're incredibly grateful. And I love the shirts. Great schools don't just happen. And I can't read from here the next line, but Carpinteria Education Foundation. Okay, fabulous. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate your support. Good night. Thank you. Okay, and we are now going to move to D, public interest reports and presentations. We will take public comment on any of the items that fall under D. Please step up to the podium now.
Alrighty, so here goes our 3-minute monthly opportunity to comment on all topics under public interest reports presentations. An average of just 36 seconds per item in this important agenda category. With policies like these, it appears district officials do not really want to hear from the public unless they are being showered with praise. We'll have to forego further well-deserved applause from Ms. Garcia, questions about SB 640, or comments on Ms. Rigby's annual goals, which are often an exercise in educational platitudes. After 9 years of routinely falling short, Ms. Rigby's failure to accomplish her annual goals has yet to have any bearing on the superintendent's annual performance evaluations. Instead, we'll use our increasingly restricted speaking time to highlight how the superintendent's report routinely spins the facts rather than provide genuine insight on the business of the district. For example, the report celebrates over $171,000 in gifts from La Centra Summerlin, praising their generosity. However, to this date, and after several requests for transparency, neither the district nor La Centra Summerlin have shared the nature of La Centra's business ventures. The community deserves to know where this money is coming from. In celebrating La Centra Summerlin's generosity, Ms. Rigby avoids discussing the expectations La Centra Summerlin has when gifting hundreds of thousands of dollars to CUSD. Ms. Rigby avoids discussing why our robustly funded basic aid district must rely so heavily on private donations and why CUSD's extraordinary legal expenses and related financial mismanagement now require private donors to fund field trips, after-school tutoring clubs, assemblies, new PE equipment, swim lessons, math night, robotics expansion, and the culinary arts program. In this section titled Progress Monitoring CMS CHS Achievement, you'll hear Ms. Rigby focus on 3 data cells where the percent of students with D's and F's has declined a total of 7%. However, Ms. Rigby's report sidesteps the cells that confirm that 32% increase in D's and F's in the remaining grades, 32%. No wonder D's and F's are up, even when administration continues to water down economic expectations while claiming that we are in pursuit of content mastery. In an effort to save money, the district has taken a new approach to scheduling classes. Currently, over 50% of general education classes across the district are now populated by students with special needs, 504 students, students with at-risk and aggressive behaviors, or non-English speaking students. Meanwhile, CUSD has removed approximately 95 of the direct instructional aid support in those very classes, critical support that faculty need to work with these kids that we like working with. Ms. Rigby reports principals are working with their departments and teachers to analyze student progress and to make adjustments in instruction, assignments, and learning experiences for failing students.
Thank you. Your time is
Translated,
up.
expectations will be lowered even further.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Rogelio Delgado, I'm just going to focus on the superintendent report. First of all, I thank you our student representative for showing up. Could be at home, doing homework, but thank you for your service. I really hope that students improve their grades. I would like to see better academic achievement from special education and Hispanic students. They are the most vulnerable students in the district. They need more time to study, and they need more attention dedicated from teachers to them. I also read the statistics on D's and F's from middle school and high school students. But I didn't read on the subjects that they need help. Is it on math? Is it on reading? Is it on writing essays? I hope that we all can see an improvement on every student. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. And we are going to move into our student representative report with Lacey. Please take it away.
Hi, my name is Lacey Zimmerman, and I'm happy to report that the final 6 weeks of the semester are here, and it's definitely a busy time at Carpinteria High School. The seniors are finalizing their college applications, including myself, and FAFSA for the end of the month deadlines. Support workshops are also available daily and nightly at the College and Career Center. Both girls and boys cross-country teams have qualified for CIF prelims, which is a first in over a decade. The girls placed second and the boys fourth at the CCL finals, earning their trip to Mount Sac this Friday. In girls tennis, on Monday, November 24th, the CIF sectionals will happen. Doubles will be held at CHS and singles at Kate. In the doubles, Charlotte and Caroline Cooney with alternates Emily Banks and Kaylin Gillen, and singles Aubrey Alcaraz with Izzy Scott as the alternate. Winter sports are also coming. This week brings the final preparations before the debut of our winter teams, including new head coaches for boys basketball and girls water polo, plus the return of our veteran soccer and girls basketball coaches. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lacey. Any questions or comments for Lacey from the board? Nope. Okay. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And now we're moving on to our our superintendent's report.
Love to be a student.
I know.
Thank you, Lacey. Good luck with your applications. Yeah, we know you'll be working hard on them. Okay, I'd like to begin with appreciation, and I'd like to recognize Athletic Director Pat Cooney, our CHS boosters, coaches, and all of our CHS student athletes for a victorious fall season of high school athletics. Girls tennis and boys water polo earned Citrus Coast League championships, while the cross-country teams participated in the Citrus Coast League final to qualify for CIF-SS prelims at Mount San Antonio College on November 14th. My next item is related to La Centra Summerlin Foundation, and our students are the beneficiaries of their generosity with $171,900 worth of grants for Aliso, Canalino Middle School and High School. These funds will support educational enrichment activities that include field trips, after-school tutoring, clubs, assemblies, new PE equipment, swim lessons, math night, robotics expansion, and culinary arts. We are so grateful for this amazing support for our students and programs. We also are very appreciative and grateful for our CEF, who generously donated $5,000 to each school site, so that's our $20,000, for additional enrichment activities for students. And please plan to attend their annual gala on February 7th at the Rincon Beach Club to celebrate 32 years of enhancing educational opportunities for CUSD students. My next item is related to the Williams Settlement Annual Visit Summary of 25-26. The county office completed Williams Settlement Annual Visit at the middle school and high school in October and reported the following: that both schools had sufficient instructional materials, that their overall rating was good, and they had accurate school accountability report cards, and the uniform complaint procedures were posted in all classrooms. My next item refers to the National School Psychology Week. National School Psychology Week of 2025 was held from November 3rd to the 7th with the theme Finding Your Path. The week is sponsored by the National Association of School Psychologists to highlight the work of school psychologists in supporting students' mental health and academic success. Activities will focus on celebrating their contributions and providing resources for creating a supportive learning environment. We'd like to celebrate and thank our CUSD school psychologists: Rob Santiago at the high school, Megan Fella at the middle school, Katie Lewis at Canalino and Family School, and Danielle Zahn at Aliso and Summerland. Next week, we will be holding our TK to 5 parent conferences. Parent participation in their child's education is critical to academic achievement, and we are looking forward to high parent participation in the elementary parent conferences next week. Teachers carefully prepare student progress reports to help parents understand grade level progress, as well as to provide home activities to reinforce reading, writing, and math skills. All students should read a minimum of 30 minutes per night and practice math facts to increase fluency and automaticity. We expect that elementary students will be reading and mastering math skills at grade level by the end of 5th grade to ensure academic success in middle and high schools. We depend on our parents to make reading and practicing math facts priorities in their homes, and we are grateful for their partnership. At CHS, our economics teacher, Julie Shamblin, and our senior economics class are sponsoring the annual CHS Friendsgiving Luncheon for the entire CHS campus on Thursday, November 20th. Parents and staff donate the delicious pumpkin pies, and administrators serve the turkey lunch prepared by CUSD Food Services. My next item is related to our annual California Healthy Kids Survey. This survey is annual, anonymous, and an online assessment for students, parents, and staff in grades 5, 7, 9, and 11. It is focused on the 5 most important areas for guiding school and student improvement: student connectedness, school climate, school safety, the physical and mental well-being and social-emotional learning, and student supports. This year's Healthy Kids Survey is available between November 10th and December 19th, and we encourage all grades 5, 7, 9, 11 students, staff, and parents to complete the online survey. And those links were distributed by way of Parent Square by your school principals. The next item is the chart of the 6-week progress report for first semester, comparing this year with last year. CHS students in grades 11 and 12 show a decrease in the percentage of Ds and Fs, and CMS students also show a decrease in Ds and Fs in grade 7 compared to last year. Principals are working with their departments and teachers to analyze student progress and to make adjustments in instruction, assignments, and learning experiences for all the failing students. My next item refers to the settlements for the AB 218 1970s sex abuse claims. On October 22nd, the State Allocation Board approved CUSD's request to deposit proceeds, $4.2 million, from the sale of surplus real property, that was the Baylor property, into the district's general fund. At a previous CUSD board meeting, the board approved the use of these funds to settle the AB 218 1970s sex abuse claims for 3 plaintiffs. At the October 28th board meeting, a resolution was passed to authorize the issuance of judgment obligation bonds to settle the 4th AB 218 1970s sex abuse claim. And then my last item is Measure U, and we have good news. On October 28th, the DSA officially approved the Aliso TKK building project. Meanwhile, following the request for proposals and qualifications process, McGillivray Construction Incorporated was selected to be recommended to the board tonight for approval as the contractor for this project. McGillivray Construction is a highly qualified local contractor experienced in major school construction, and they have recently completed 2 major district projects, including the Catalina Learning Center and Summerlin Elementary School. Thank you.
Thank you. Any clarifying questions from the board for the superintendent's report? Okay, seeing none, we are going to move on to D3. Carpinteria High School FFA teacher Emily Garcia was honored as Santa Barbara County Office of Education New Educator of the Year. And we have a short video from a salute to our teachers that was played. The unfortunate thing is the event was the same night as homecoming. And so there was a number of folks that weren't able to attend the event to support Emily, but I just want to say congratulations again. We've brought this up before leading up to the event, but this was played at the event as an introduction for Miss Garcia. So here we go.
Agriculture teachers are one of a kind. Emily, for example, is here every single day of the year. She is a 24/7, 365 teacher who gives her heart and soul every single day to the students that she teaches. As a new teacher, especially an ag teacher, there's a lot of different factors that come into play when it comes to leading a successful program.
The thing that I love the most about being a teacher is to see the students' faces light up when they learn something new, when they have the aha moment, knowing that they can go home and they're gonna know something that they didn't know prior to this.
One of my favorite things about Miss Garcia's class is the environment that she fosters. She brings so much fun to the classroom, makes me excited to be there.
One thing that the students have taught me is that I need to be a flexible teacher for them. Learn the way that they need to learn and allow them to actually feel comfortable and feel safe to where they can ask the questions and they can push their education in the way that they want to.
One of the greatest values of student participating in FFA is the fact that they learn leadership skills. So Ms. Garcia is a perfect example of what a FFA student should be. She graduated from Carpinteria High School, went to college, participated in FFA when she was here, and she's active in the agriculture community. So she's a great role model for our students.
She has gone through the whole process herself, so she knows exactly how to help us when we're struggling or feeling unprepared for a competition.
So Ms. Garcia is the reason that several students come to campus. She sets up an environment not only in her classroom, but also in the livestock facilities and the greenhouses where students want to be there with her.
The most important thing that I teach my students is real life lessons. I'm able to teach them and give them the opportunities to learn outside the classroom, which I think hands down is the most important lesson that they can get.
What truly makes Ms. Garcia deserving of this award is the amount of heart that she puts into her career every single day. If an animal gets sick on Christmas, she has to be here not only working with the animals, but also with the students.
Through this program, I think a lot of students find this sense of unity and family that they may not get anywhere else. It's not too much work for me because I know at the end of the day, my students are gaining from it, and to see them gain is probably the best thing that I can get for my job.
A man who works hard sweats hard.
That was the video that was posted and shared on that for that event. And just to highlight that, that was on homecoming, so that was, I believe, October 25th, I believe.
That's
yeah.
Yes.
And just after that, I believe the week right after, she went back east to help celebrate 3 of our FFA students who got their is it American or All-American certificate. So they fully completed the whole FFA program, and that happens, they get that once they've already graduated, and this is a special honor that they get then, and so she went back to help support them as well for that. So just want to highlight all that she does for our community, for our students. Pretty remarkable rising teacher. So thank you, Ms. Garcia. We are now going to move on to a presentation, a D4, a presentation on the new California Senate Bill 640 and California College Guidance Initiative, CCGI. Principal Cornejo is going to do a presentation for us.
Good evening. I'm here tonight to present to you some exciting news for our students. The governor signed a bill about a month ago, SB 640, and I'm going to explain to you what that is. And about a year ago, you entered into an MOU with the California College Guidance Initiative, and that is something that both of them, you'll see how they come together to provide a great opportunity for our students. First of all, SB 640 is a program that is called direct admissions. And I've heard some criticism of folks saying, they're watering down the requirements to get students into college and so forth. The colleges are not changing their admissions requirements. It's just the process that students will follow to get into college. That's the only thing that's changing. They still have to meet the A through G requirements. They still have to meet the GPA requirements. So it is just streamlining and basically catching up to a lot of things that other states are already doing. So I'm going to present to you the fact that SB 640 is modeled after similar programs in many states across the country, from Texas to Utah to Connecticut, Minnesota, and Indiana. And all these states show that the fact that the students are able to go to a state college through this process has increased attendance at their colleges. These are students that would normally have not thought of going through the process. And I'm going to explain to you how that works in a minute. But the requirements are still the same, like I just mentioned. A through G requirements, the minimum 2.5 GPA, academic GPA in the 10th and the 11th and 12th grade. We're all familiar with the A through G requirements are, and some of them require, for example, foreign language. It says 2 years, but it's actually 3 years that they actually recommend. This is the minimum course sequence that students must complete in order to just begin the process of being eligible to apply. They cannot have any Ds in this process. If they have any Ds, they are taken out of the process. They have to retake the course, and that's where our credit recovery program and the Student Success Center comes in. Just to give you some background on our A through G requirement completion rate, you can see that Carpinteria Unified School District has a fairly high number of students completing A through G. And one of the reasons is because all of our courses are A through G courses. The only ones that are not are PE. The other thing that we have to keep in mind is the fact that the students, we need to encourage the students to complete the A through G. A lot of the students sometimes think that they don't have to, especially if they're going directly to a community college, which we hope that this will change because students will now have a buy-in, quick buy-in, and seeing what they've put in, the results will be awesome when they get into senior year. The other thing that I would like to mention also is that the percentages, the gatekeeper of this whole thing is math. If you do not pass math and you don't do 3 years of math, you're not going to complete A through G. And that is one of the things that for all the high schools, math is the focus of what we need to continue to do. And in a month from now, I'll come and give you a presentation on our test scores. But at the end of the day are our students getting a C or better in math? And that's what we have to work every semester with our math teachers, supporting our students, moving students around from one class to their advisory period so that they can have an additional 90 minutes a week with their teacher. So those are all the things that we do. Notice that there is no test scores for the county, A through G scores for the county or the state, but there is for our unified school district, and that is local data. That's our local estimate. This week, I think tomorrow, these numbers come up. So since this is televised and I don't have any information other than that, I do not want to give you any more data on that. So what is direct admissions? It's very similar to when you go and get pre-approved for a car loan and you go shopping and you know that you already can get a car. It's the same thing. These are California State Universities telling a student, we've got a spot for you. Now it's your responsibility to follow through the process, the application process, to come here. There is no more ambiguity of, I have to apply to 30 colleges and see which one lets me in. You will get, as a member of the class of 27, that's when it will begin, they will get an email through the platform that you all entered into an MOU, the CCGI. They will get an email saying, you've got a spot. Now we hope that you join us. And I can see what's going to happen in the future. The colleges are going to start competing for those students. We just got a couple of weeks ago a flyer from Sonoma State. They're basically saying, if you come to our school, we will pay you $500 for the first semester, for the first 2 semesters, and we'll pay for your textbooks the first year. That's going to happen more often as colleges are now going to be competing, because the students know, I can go to this one, I can go to that one, I can go to this one. There is no more guessing. It's not going to, you don't have to run and get an email and say, I wonder I got in. No, you have, the moment that you get the email, you're in, okay? How will students attain or be informed of their direct admissions? Under the CCGI, the California College Guidance Initiative, our system speaks on a weekly basis with the college's databases. So when our student applies to UCSB or to Cal State Northridge, that university already has a copy of our students' transcripts. They already know whether they've met the A through G requirements. They already know their GPA. They already have flagged any questions that the students may need to address in their application. And the counselors also have access to that information. Once that whole process begins, the students then begin the process of applying to that university. Once again, the courses and the grades are automatically populated for students in the application. And also the fee waivers will automatically be applied to the students based on financial input from when they registered in the school district when we do free and reduced lunch applications. Do students need to apply? Yes, they'll need to apply. They will still have to pay the $70 per college, but now you don't have to apply to 5 or 6 colleges. So you can probably just pay for one and say, I want to go to this university, and you're in. And again, the waivers are automatically populated in the process. All this happens, all the application, all the notification, all the communication between our system and the colleges is done through one platform, which is the CCGI. Every student in the state of California has an account. By 2026, by June 2026, all high schools must be part of CCGI. The nice thing about it is the fact that within that platform, and I'll explain to you what it has, it's got a huge amount of information. You don't have to now go to multiple websites. You don't have to go to multiple sources. Everything is in one place. And I'll show you that in a minute. Once the student gets an application or a offer of admissions, the students are being notified that they're in. There are 16 colleges in the process, but I have 15 up here. And the reason is Fresno State has impacted majors, specifically the agriculture majors. Therefore, they're not as open as the rest of the colleges. High demand campuses will still require the general application, and it will still be competitive. And there may be, within the 15 campuses, there may be specific majors that are not automatic in the direct admissions program. These are the campuses that are participating in the direct admissions through SB 640. In the other states that have done this in the past, have been doing this for a while, private schools have also ventured into the process. They are now participating in those states, being part of the direct admissions, and I see that happening in the state of California. One of the things that this has done is one of the reasons is the fact that attendance is down at the state colleges. What's going to happen is that students that would normally have thought of going to City College are now going directly to the UC system, to the Cal State system, which then will require the colleges, city colleges, to work more with the high schools for more dual enrollment opportunities for our students. The campuses that are not participating are those high demand colleges that receive more applications than the number of seats that they have. Those are Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, Pomona, Cal State Fullerton, Cal State Long Beach, San Diego State University, and San Jose State University. I foresee as the students begin to learn the fact that they can go to different colleges, that they may not apply for these colleges now because they now have a spot. So I think in a couple of years, these colleges may say, we need to get into this direct admissions. And again, this begins with the class of 2027. Even though the law goes into effect on January 1st, the class of 2026 unfortunately does not benefit from this. What this does, and again, is that when you go and get a pre-loan approval, is that there is no guesswork anymore. You know what you can afford. You know what the type of car you can get. It's the same thing. You know that you've been admitted to this college. You know you're going to get in, and there's a spot for you. So this is the great thing about this process, is that there is no guesswork. There is no figuring out, do I qualify or not? It is the moment you get that email, you're in. If there are students in this process who wish to go to City College, they will be able to enter into an agreement with a specific school that has already admitted them for a guarantee slot in the future, specifically in that major. And I'm going to give you an example. Let's assume that a student got into Cal State Northridge and they want to go into their civil engineering major, that in 2027 is not impacted. But that student really needs or wants or needs to go to City College for using the promise and so forth. And in 2029, when they want to go to Cal State Northridge, if they went in through this, they've got a spot, even though that major may be impacted at that time. So these dual admission transfer programs are now going to be part of City College life. Do you want to enter in a specific college, into an agreement with this specific college with a specific major? Doesn't mean that the student can't renege on it, but the college can't. The college has a spot for them until the student says, I have decided to go somewhere else. Again, this begins with the class of 2027. Like I mentioned, this program or this portal is it's a one-fit-all. Next year, we'll be working with the middle school, and it will be part of their 8th grade college and career exploration. But, for example, the interest survey can be only given twice. That's how much the platform allows us. So we're going to give that to the 8th graders and then give that again to the 10th graders. So there is a scope and sequence of when we're going to do these activities for our students. That will be part of our counseling program, both here at the high school and also at the middle school. Financial aid literacy is required in the 11th grade, so that will be part of that. Employment outlook, that will be part of our 10th grade college major. That will be part of our 9th grade courses. So there is a specific spot for all these opportunities for the student to know more about themselves and what they want to do in the future. I'm going to give you an example of what the college and career exploration component does. It provides them with career assessments, opportunity for them to explore different colleges, different careers, different majors, and match the interest to where they want to go to. There is an extensive college and major search engine that allows the students to narrow down from private to public, from in-state to out-of-state colleges on a specific major. Once you find that major, it gives you a specific outlook of what it's going to look like in the future. What's the average salary? what's the average makeup of a college, what's the average cost at that college. So that, again, is in one place. You don't have to go search finding out how much is it going to cost for me to go to Cal State Fresno. It's going to tell you specific how much it's going to cost for you to be able to make that choice. It also allows us to create a 4-year academic plan and track the progress. Tomorrow, all the parents at Carpinteria High School will be receiving an email explaining to them what CCGI is and the process for them to create a parent account so that they can go in and see the progress of their student. It will also show you what still needs to be done in A through G. Obviously, right now, if you log in as a 9th grade parent, you will see nothing because the student has not completed a semester. And I'm going to show you what a typical report looks like when a parent or a student logs in to this. The application and financial aid component, it's a one place for you to launch all the applications for the UC, the Cal State system, and the California community colleges. You don't have to go to different websites to do this. You do it once and it's done. It's the same place for one place to launch for the FAFSA application in the DREAM Act. It is one place for our colleges for our counselors to track student progress. A lot of times students will tell us, well, I've already set up an account and I've already submitted, but they forgot to click on the submit button. So sometimes that will allow us for our counselors right now to be able to log in and see the progress that the student has done in all of these 3 components. Before I show you what CCGI looks like, I want to give you some data regarding our students. The first one is the class of 2023. And every student, every time that we have a students that graduate at Carpinteria High School, we give them a survey about what do they intend to do after high school. That data is not necessarily the same data that the state is going to get. All this data is self-reporting, meaning the students provide this data when they apply to a UC system or they apply to a Cal State system or when they go to City College. So when we get the new data, and it's always 2 years behind, we will replace our local data with the state data so that we only have one set of numbers to work with. So the numbers that we're working with the class of 2023 are the following. We had 159 graduates. Of those 159 graduates, we had 22% did not give us a response. Those students could be, they didn't want to take the survey or did not want to provide information at the time of registration at a community college or a Cal State system. When they ask them what school did you go to, they may say, I don't want to share that information. 3% are private or out of state. 11% of our students in the class of 2023 are in the Cal State system, 6% at the UC, and 57% of our students ended up at City College, specifically due to the promise where they pay for all the tuition and fees and materials for the first 2 years. So if we do all that, about 78% of our students are attending a 2 or 4 year college of the class of 2023. Since the data is more robust after 2 years, this is what we have from the state of California regarding local high schools, local school districts. If you notice, based on the class of 2023, Carpinteria Unified School District has the highest percentage of students attending a 2 or 4 year college. There are many reasons why a student or a community district may not be able to offer or have high percentage of students. It could be because some students cannot get into A through G class. They may not be able to retake the class. So the Student Success Center has allowed us to do a lot of those things where students are able to retake certain classes to be able to validate their A through G courses. The class of 2024, this is where it's still not official data because this is data based on not just the surveys that our students gave us when they left. We had 154 graduates. Of those, roughly 80% of them said that they were going to go to a college, a 2 year or 4 year college. Sometimes in the no response, students may, if they're going to a tech school or they're going to go to work and then they change their mind. We do not know that information until the students go to the community college, go to the Cal State system or the UC system, and they actually share that information with them. This is all self-reporting. The class of 2025, which is last year's class, we had 140 graduates. Of those 140 graduates, we had less percent of students not responding, and 81.4% of our students, based on the local data that we have, based on the survey we have, said to us that they were going to go to a 2 or 4-year college. Again, this data will be replaced once the state data is updated, which is 2 years behind. So whatever data we had from 2023, we've removed that and we only use what is on the CDE website. Now let me show you the California College Guidance Initiative. It's actually californiacolleges.edu. So everybody at Carpinteria High School, right now the seniors are using this platform to apply for financial aid and for their college applications. I and the counselors can go in, run reports, figure out how many of our students have already submitted an application, how many of them have created an account, how many of students are in the process of applying. So that information we never had. So we were able to call in students from our College and Career Center or our academic counselors and ask the student, do you need help? What is still missing? What can we do? What can we help you with? That's something that is very important. So our students are able to log in using their district email. By the time they graduate, they will be asked to provide a private email, and they will have access to this database after they graduate high school, I believe for an additional 6 years. And one of the great things about this, that this also has a opportunity for students to create a portfolio so that they can upload letters of recommendations, resumes, all that they can then use wherever they go. Any student that comes to Carpinteria High School from a state school, high school in the state, has an account already. So when they come in, we will be able to go in and take a look at their transcripts. Before, we had to wait for their transcripts to be sent from the old high school. Now all they have to do is just log in, and we will be able to see it. The other great thing is the fact that when they move from our district, this account will follow them wherever high school they go to. So again, the students can discover their interests, their values, find careers, learn how to pay for college, and also they can also monitor their progress in one place. For parents, they will be able to keep an eye on their academic progress because, and I'm going to show you what it looks like here in a minute. They can also navigate the process of applying for college and financial aid, and they can also take a look at, there are certain modules that parents can complete on how to figure out how to pay for college, which colleges offer which majors. All that parents will have access, and I will be sending that information to our current high school parents tomorrow. So again, it's a one-stop portal. In this portal, there's an academic plan, there's a list of A3G requirements. You can do applications, financial aid applications, and also do a career exploration. And it's not necessarily just letting students or moving students to colleges. It also does apprenticeships. So you can click on the apprenticeship link and it will send you to a database. You type in California or Santa Barbara and it will give you the list of all the apprenticeships that are available in the area and what are the requirements to apply. Today, you entered into an agreement with the County Office of Education for us to be able to pay some of our students to local donations for being part of an apprenticeship. That will be something that, if I have my wish, all high school students would have a paid internship by the time they graduate high school. This is what it looks like. So when a student logs in, they are able to see their GPA. If you notice right here, it gives them their GPA for that specific system. It also gives them, so right here it says in this system, that's their GPA for the Cal State University. I'm just giving you an example of what a Cal State University report looks like. It also gives you the list of courses that the student has already completed. Those are green. So if you look at the top, you have the circles, and notice that it says letter A has already been checked off. That means that the student has met that requirement of A through G. And again, this is supposed to be for seniors. There may be some questions. For example, if you look at the one that I first circled for English, it says you have not completed this. Well, since we cannot add dual enrollment courses into our A through G list of courses, that is a manual thing that the counselor is going to have to do to fix that. But we can now see it. Before we weren't able to see that. If a student comes from another high school and that high school names their course a little different, we're able to go in and manually say this class meets this requirement. Again, the UC system and the Cal State system are reviewing this information on a weekly basis. So this is where the Cal State University is going to, the data that they're going to use to send those acceptance letters to our students in the class of 2027. When the counselor logs in, they can see the progress. So in this case, it says, the student is in progress of applying for the Cal State Chico, but they've already completed the application for Northeastern University of Oakland. And they have created an account, but have not selected a campus to apply for the Cal State, for the UC system. This is something that our counselors can see on a daily basis when they're working with their students. They can say, I can see you haven't completed this. They can also do it for financial aid. So I'm going to give you an example. Here's the financial aid. It tells them what it has completed. This is the financial aid lessons. So there are multiple lessons that the students can complete, and we're going to go into different classes from Get Focused, Stay Focused, to English, to Social Studies, depending on the grade level that a specific activity is appropriate. But all of this should be done by the time that students begin to apply for a four-year college. Again, this is currently live for our seniors. We will be getting more information in the month of February regarding how this is all going to work, more specific. And then we will be able to provide information on how the additional steps that the students will need to take for direct admissions. This is exciting news for our students. For those of you who have had students apply for Cal State or any universities, this is a very easy, unstressful process of applying for Cal State system. Any questions?
Yep, go ahead.
I had, I think, 2 questions. I'm not sure if you know yet. Will this portal have the City College transcript information as well? Because I know our students take a lot of City College classes, so I'm not sure if that's also in this portal.
It is not,
Okay.
but the students are able to upload the transcript.
Okay.
Yep.
And then my other question was related to, you kind of mix Cal State and UC a little bit. Is it more exclusively for Cal State?
The direct admissions is for the Cal State.
Okay, perfect. Thank
But, it's just like when you have a dealership or you have a restaurant or you have a business that everybody's now going to, and you were that exclusive business that is now losing customers, they're going to start looking and saying, oh, we need to be part of this too. Declining enrollments throughout the state. Just like the school districts are experiencing declining enrollment, the Cal State system is seeing it. The UC system is seeing it. The community colleges are seeing it. So everyone's out for the same number of graduates in California. So they're going to have to provide the best option for those students. And this is a reason why, one of the reasons that the state is doing this, because they need to have students in those colleges.
Good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Question kind of off of that. So the direct admissions is for CSUs, but is this portal able to do use?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Just
So within the portal,
clarifying that.
within the portal,
Yep.
it's the UC, the Cal State,
Cal State,
and
and-
City College.
Yep.
Within that portal, in order to be able to get the offer of admissions from the Cal State system, you must be part of using that portal.
And then, so the seniors are using this right now, the portal. You mentioned that you were going to have the 10th graders take the interest survey. Are they doing that this year?
They're doing it in the spring.
They're going to do it this school year.
We did
this
not
year's
want
10th graders.
we did not want to pilot this with such a busy schedule for our seniors.
Yeah.
Once that process is over, which ends end of November, and the financial aid ends late January, that in the month of March and April, we'll be able to focus on the other 3 grade levels,
Great.
including 8th grade.
8th grade. Fabulous. Okay. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much.
Any further questions? No? Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, we are moving on to agenda item 5, the 25-26 Superintendent Annual Goals, second reading. The board is asked to approve and adopt the second reading of the 2025-2026 Superintendent Annual Goals. The 25-26 LCAP was approved in June 2025. These are the annual goals developed with the approved LCAP. First reading was presented at the October 14th regular board meeting. Any questions from the board? No? Okay. May I get a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve. I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Okay. We're moving on to E, board policies. If you would like to make public comment for E1 or 2, please step up to the podium at this time. Okay, seeing none. E1, Board Policy and Administrative Regulation 3515.4, Recovery for Property Loss or Damage Updated, second reading. The board is asked to approve the second reading and adopt BPAR 3515.4, Recovery for Property Loss or Damage. The governing board desires to create a safe and secure learning environment and to minimize acts of vandalism and damage to school property. When district property is damaged due to the willful misconduct of a student or other person, the superintendent or designee shall seek reimbursement of damages within the limitations specified in law, from the parent, guardian of a minor child, or from any other responsible individual. Questions from the board? Okay, may I get a motion to approve BP and AR 3515.4?
I'll
Second
motion
reading.
to
Okay.
approve.
Approve and adopt.
I'll motion to approve and adopt.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Okay. Discussion? All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Okay. E2, Board Policy and Administrative Regulation 5141.4, Child Abuse Prevention and Reporting Updated, second reading. We are being asked to approve the second reading and adopt updated BPAR 5141.4, Child Abuse Prevention and Reporting. The governing board is committed to supporting the safety and well-being of district students and desires to facilitate the prevention of and response to child abuse and neglect. The superintendent or designee shall develop and implement strategies for preventing, recognizing, and promptly reporting known or suspected child abuse and neglect. Any questions from the board? Okay. May I get a motion to approve and adopt updated BP and AR 5141.4?
I'll motion to approve and adopt.
I'll second.
Okay, and just a little bit of background. This comes out of a legislation that the governor put through over the summer that steps up the mandated reporting requirements for all school staff and people in sensitive areas like that. And I'll get to it kind of later when I speak to meetings that I went to for other stuff. But it was mentioned that a lot of districts are already behind the ball on this. And I was at the School Board Association meeting, and there was concern that some may not be able to get this moved through in time, which the deadline is July. We're definitely ahead of the game on this. So I really appreciate the proactive engagement on getting this updated and getting everything set in place for us to move forward. So thank you. All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Okay. F, Educational Services. If you'd like to make public comment on F, please step up to the podium now. Okay, not seeing any public comment. F1, 2526, Expanded Learning Opportunities Program Plan Guide. The board is asked to review and approve the Expanded Learning Opportunities Program Plan Guide. The ELOP guide is aligned with ACE's After School Education and Safety Guide, with the addition of TK and K grades, offering TK through 8 expanded learning before school, after school, during intersessions, or summer. Learning programs focus on development of academic, social, emotional, and physical needs and interests of pupils through hands-on engaging learning. The ELOP requires a 9-hour instructional day, is offered to all unduplicated pupils in grade TK through 8. Additionally, the program requires the ELOP plan to be board approved every 3 years. The funding for the 25-26 fiscal year is $1,909,605. This program will be funded annually through apportionment. Any questions from the board? May I get a motion to approve the ELOP plan guide?
I'll move to approve the ELOP plan guide.
I'll second.
Okay, in discussion? I'd just like to point out we have a really great program for our students, and it is robust and engaging. And I want to point out that this is offered free to all of our students. At the same meeting I mentioned earlier, I learned that there are numerous other districts in the county that charge for these after-school programs on a scale, on a needs-based scale, but it's something for us to be proud of that we get this funded and covered for all of our students to have access to this quality programming. So pointing that out. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. Moving on to G, business operations and facilities. If you'd like to make public comment on any of the items under G, business operations and facilities, please step to the podium at this time.
Thank you. Rogelio Delgado, Carpinteria resident. On the warrants, this is what I noticed. 3 settlements for 3 men of the sex abuse case of the 70s. What caught my attention was that 2 of them settled for $1,250,000, and one for $1.5 million. So I was wondering why that difference. I thought that they were all getting the same amount, except for this man getting 1.5 instead of 1,250,000. So that's one of my questions. Also, I also noticed a legal cost of for $15,940 from the same sex abuse. So this is what I wonder. You had been fighting this case for some time. Actually, we didn't know anything about it until last year that San Francisco newspaper brought this up. Then the following week, the Coastal View follow up, but all of this was being talked about, discussed legally without the community knowing, and that's not right. So, so far you have spent like $1 million fees on legal fees. So the question that I have is that why didn't the district settle this a long time ago? I mean, this was a lose-lose situation. Everybody knew it. But you could have approved a municipal bond back then for all of this amount. Why did you wait all of this? This is more money involved on legal fees. Also, what caught my attention was that there was a fee for pizza, and that.
Thank you.
All right.
So just to clarify, we've been discussing these 1970s sex abuse cases for over 3 years now. It's been talked about. It's been in the warrants listed as the 1970s sex abuse cases this whole time. The superintendent reports have been brought up. It's been reported out from closed sessions, what's able to be reported out. So it's more than just last year. We've been talking about it for at least 3 years now. And furthermore, the settlements are just that, settlements, and it takes time to come to a settlement. We worked really hard over the course of those years to come to that agreement and to get them to settle instead of going to trial. So I believe we did everything we could to minimize and mitigate the direct costs to today's students, while making sure that the people who were wronged, they should get justice, and there's no way to truly make them whole for what was done to them. But these are settlements, and we couldn't have forced them to take a settlement when they first filed. So to suggest otherwise is absolutely wild. And yes, there are attorney's fees associated with it, because there are attorney's fees for the services that have to get done to file the cases, to settle the cases, to file the bonds, all of the different pieces that have to happen. And this is what we had been discussing, is that this is going to cost the district money, and it has cost the district a significant amount of money. And this is why I had been engaging with Senator Lamone's office for the last 3 years, with Assemblymember Hart's office for the last 3 years. I've even brought it to Congressman Carbajal's office to say, listen, this is a problem, and because our district does not have the insurance company that existed back then is gone. We are a unique situation, as opposed to many of the other districts where there is insurance to fall back on. And so what we did was try to keep these cases and the cost of these cases as far away from today's students as possible. I am proud of the many, many hours and days, weeks that have been of effort that have been put in to get these cases settled at the levels they were settled. And we are incredibly lucky that we did not have to go to trial over this, because it would have been catastrophic looking at the trial, the trial settlements that have come out of that. So I just need that to be well known, and we've discussed this multiple times, but this is not new from 1 year ago. We've discussed this for 3 years. It was brought up when the law first passed and the first cases came up. To say otherwise is just wrong. So that's all I have. That's all I have to say about that. And excuse me, please stop. They're individual settlements, and they have their own lawyers. And this is like, I don't understand what the problem is. But okay, next speaker.
So under the board's most recent restrictions to public comment, the public is permitted just 20 seconds of public comment per item in this agenda item category. So we'll have to ignore the over $5 million in warrants and several other items, so as to focus on the most overlooked matter in the agenda item G. Although district employees and their representatives truly appreciate those who provide grants and gifts without unethical and unprofessional strings attached, we're compelled to share concerns when gifts, grants, and donations appear less than transparent. In the last year, La Centra Summerlin has donated over $330,000 to CUSD, yet there has been no public discussion or inquiry about CUSD's relationship with the donor. Have our board members inquired upon the intentions of La Centra Summerlin? Have they inquired upon the way La Centra Summerlin makes its money? Our district officials, again, looking the other way on issues CUSD has a moral and legal obligation to address so as to gain financial contributions. Is this another version of Ms. Rigby's 2019 when district officials worked with the local cannabis producers who donated hundreds of thousands of dollars then, at the very time Ms. Rigby, Mr. Schaefer, and board members were ignoring state and federal boundary issues associated with growing marijuana next to public school sites? The last time we learned that district officials engaged in such an unethical relationship with a donor, CUSD's high school was surrounded by marijuana cultivation, off-gassing jeopardized the health of students, employees, and community members, and the Santa Barbara grand jury opened an investigation into matters that included CUSD's business practices. So forgive this bystander if we're suspicious of a private organization that is providing CUSD hundreds of thousands of dollars, while our efforts to figure out either where the money comes from or what their mission is are met with silence. Earlier in this meeting, Ms. Rigby shared special appreciation for LaCentra Summerlin in her superintendent's report. In celebrating LaCentra Summerlin's generosity, Ms. Rigby avoided, as did the board, not inquiring the expectations LaCentra Summerlin has when gifting hundreds of thousands of dollars to our district. Our district officials did not discuss why our robustly funded basic aid district must now rely on these heavy private donations. Although we're aware of CUSD's extraordinary legal expenses and related financial mismanagement over the last few years, they did not discuss why private donors are needed to carry the district at this time. This evening, the district officials have a good opportunity to clear that up at this very agenda item. So please share with the community more details about this unique relationship where LaCentra Summerlin gives CUSD over $300,000 with apparently no strings attached, and CUSD gives this private donor nothing but appreciation and gratitude. It is somewhat unbelievable, but maybe you have some explanation for what's happening here. Thank you. Or not.
Okay. G1 warrants. The board is asked to approve the warrants for the period of October 10th, 2025 through November 6th, 2025 in the amount of $5,199,943.55. Warrants are issued once a week on Thursdays. The report format shows check number, check date, payee, brief account description, payment comment, and check amount. Any questions from the board on the warrants? Okay, may I get a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve the warrants.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. G2, this is going to be G2B through E. G2B, donation from LaCentra Summerlin Foundation through Carpinteria Education Foundation to CUSD. The board is asked to accept this donation from LaCentra Summerlin through Carpinteria Education Foundation of $171,900 to CUSD to support different programs and activities outlined within the attachments. To C, donation from JW Photography to Carpinteria Middle School. The board is asked to accept the donation from JW Photography of $610 to CUSD CMS to be used towards library's Reading Rewards program. To D, donation from the Lions Club to the CHS cheerleaders. Board is asked to accept this donation from Lions Club of Carpinteria of $500 to the CHS cheerleaders for the Festival of Trees. And 2E, donation from Carp High School Booster Club to CHS football team. We're being asked to accept this donation from Carp High School Booster Club of $6,996.93 to the CHS football team for home game uniforms. Any questions from the board? Okay. May I get a motion to approve 2B through E? May I get a motion to approve 2B through E?
I'll move to approve.
And I will second.
Any discussion about any of these items? I thought you said you had something. No, okay. Okay, all in favor? Aye. G3, Approval of Watkins Fence Company and McCall and M&M for high school softball field repairs. The board is asked to approve Watkins Fence Company and McCall and M&M for CHS softball repairs. The high school varsity softball dugout has a chain link fence. The high school varsity softball dugout has a chain link fence that is 8 feet tall. A couple of years ago, the chain link was cut, which caused it to pull apart. Maintenance repaired this by placing a chain link section over the area that was damaged, but the district would like to install new fencing around the dugout. Additionally, bottom section of the junior varsity softball backstop needs to be repaired. The bottom section is composed of wood, and it is estimated that the wood is approximately 20 years old. As a result of its age and being exposed to the elements, the wood has deteriorated to the point where it should be replaced. The district contacted 4 vendors for proposals for the 2 projects, but only one of the following 2 vendors responded with estimates. Only the following 2 vendors responded with estimates. Watkins Fence Company, Project 1, high school dugout fencing for $3,177. Project 2, replacing the backstop for the wood for $10,967, a total of $14,144. And then McCall and M&M, Project 1, dugout fencing for $4,188. Project 2, replacing the backstop wood, $10,561 for a total of $14,749. It looks like we selected Watkins Fence for project number 1, the high school dugout fencing, and then McCall and M&M for project 2, replacing the backstop wood. The total amount for the selected projects is $13,738 and will be paid with routine restricted maintenance funds. Any questions from the board? Okay. May I get a motion to approve?
I'll motion to approve.
I'll second.
Discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and 4, resolution number 25-942 of the Governing Board of Carpinteria Unified School District regarding annual developer fee report for fiscal year 24-25. The board is asked to approve resolution number 25-942, the annual report of developer fees. As required by Government Code Sections 66001 and 66006, the district is required to deposit all developer fees collected in a separate capital facilities fund, Fund 25, and report on all revenues received and expenses made from that fund. Questions from the board?
Jason has more information for you. More
Okay.
questions.
Thank you.
With regard to our current developer fee rates, we've checked with our current facility consultant, and unfortunately, we don't have enough projects to warrant increasing our developer fees at this time. However, once we complete our Measure U projects, we can do another master facility plan, and at that time, we can reassess whether or not we can increase our developer fee rates.
Okay, and that was something I believe Board Member Schaefer hit, or maybe it was, actually, no, sorry, it was, Board Member Smith, Aaron, had asked about raising that. Do you have any questions or anything to?
No, it seems clear. We have to get through Measure U before we can revisit that when we have some more projects lined up, but hopefully we get through Measure U before all these buildings start popping up.
Okay. Okay. Any further questions from the board? No? Okay. May I get a motion to approve resolution number 25-942?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
And roll call on resolutions, yes.
Eric?
Aye.
Jeanette?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye?
And I'm aye.
Okay. Moving on to H, Measure U. If you'd like to make public comment on H1, please step up to the podium at this time. Okay, seeing none. H1, approval of McGillivray Construction, Inc. as leaseback contractor for the Aliso Elementary TK Kindergarten project. The board is asked to approve McGillivray Construction, Inc. as the leaseback contractor for the Aliso Elementary TK Kindergarten project. The district solicited requests for qualifications and proposals for construction services for the Aliso Elementary School TK Kindergarten Classroom project. This RFQP notice was published on October 2 of 2025 and October 9 of 2025 in the Coastal View News. The scope of work for this project includes collaborating with district staff and architects in the construction of new TKK 4-classroom building and associated site work, grading, paving, site utilities, storm drainage, landscaping, irrigation, and electrical work, including communications and fire alarm. The deadline to submit a response was October 28, 2025 by 3 p.m. The only response the district received was from McGillivray Construction, Inc. After board approval, McGillivray will determine the GMP, guaranteed maximum price, for this project, and this matter will be brought back to the board in December for approval. There are no fiscal implications at this time. Any questions from the board?
So only one company said they will bid on it? Is that what's happening? So tonight we're approving them to bid. We're not accepting their bid.
No, we're approving them as lease back, so we are approving them. Excuse me. We are approving them as the contractor.
But we don't know how much they're gonna charge yet.
No, not yet. But they know what the budget is. They know what's been allocated in Measure U.
Okay, and what if,
Does that mean they'll just go to the max of the budget?
Usually.
Well, the budget was determined years ago, so.
But does that mean they'll take the whole budget because they can?
No. Okay, the budget number was identified 5 years ago. Prices have gone way up. So they're going to come in over the budget number, but they know what we're limited.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're going to be reasonable.
But the deadline for anybody else to.
Yes.
Is passed.
Yes, it was October 28th.
And all we did was put it in the newspaper?
Yes.
We didn't, actively call people to see if they'd do it for cheaper, or?
What do you mean do for cheaper?
Well, when you only
To
have
get more
one bid,
bids.
you only have
Yeah,
one bid.
but it's a lease-back project, so what we were agreeing to is lease it to McGillivray, and they'll lease it back to us. So what that means is then you have your GMP developed after you choose the contract, after the contract bids on the lease back. So I guess that my speculation is that there are contractors out there that didn't want the lease back process. Not only that,
please keep the comments in the back of the room silent.
Yeah.
It's been going on all night. One more time and you're out.
not
I'm sorry,
appropriate.
it's just unfortunate that we don't have two bids to
Yeah.
compare. You only get one. If we only have one, we only have one, but it would be nice to have two or more people bidding and, being able to see what the going rate
Competition.
is versus just the one rate. But if we've done everything we can, then we've done everything we can.
Did we?
Not only that, I would say that McGillivray is.
No, they're great. I know they're
They've
great.
built all of our buildings. We know them really well. They've
Mm-hmm.
worked really closely with our team, and their subcontractors have been really good quality.
No, they're
So
great.
I
They
don't
do a
think
good
we're
work.
going to get any better than McGillivray.
No, it would just be nice to see other
Yeah.
people interested.
It's not a question of the quality of the
No,
firm.
it's not about them. It's
I think it's in line with comments we've made on other projects of
Yeah.
wanting multiple options. And
It didn't surprise us that there was only one.
and they do
Because
most of the projects around here.
They've done all the projects in our school district. They've done all the projects in Santa Barbara School District.
They did the Linden project.
They did the Linden project in Carpinteria. So it's not unusual that we only got one contractor.
Okay, just checking.
And there are a number of contractors that do not want the process of lease back because they don't want the guaranteed maximum price. Once we agree on that price, that's what it's going to be. So that's the process that some contractors don't want to engage in.
Understood. Thank you.
okay. Okay, then we're being asked to approve McGillivray Construction as the leaseback for the Aliso TKK project. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, and discussion?
I think we had it.
Okay, all right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Personnel summary. Let's see here. We have public comment on I-1.
Okay, so this evening's personnel report confirms the retirement of Eric Queller, custodian, musician, and Renaissance man. Although there are several, Eric is perhaps the most undervalued district employee I've had the pleasure of working with. For many years, Eric has quietly and consistently provided service far above and beyond contractual expectations. Even after being overlooked for a supervisory position he was obviously qualified to perform, Mr. Queller continued to show up, do the job with respect and dignity, and give well beyond the expectations established by either the contract or labor law. Eric will be missed, and like usual, we predict the CUSD will not realize just how significant was Eric's contribution until he's gone, and CMS admin are trying to figure out how the absence of one seemingly inconsequential custodian could have such a significant impact on how things function at the middle school. The union is proud that as a result of our diligence and oversight, the district clearly understood its obligation to rehire a previously laid off custodian who had fallen victim to the impact of the district's grand legal spending spree in the last few years. As the money began to run out, the CUSD could not find a way to prioritize the same level of hygiene and cleanliness it once knew, and Mr. Trujillo was laid off. But as a result of the 39-month rehire rights that union leadership at the local and state level so diligently defend, Mr. Trujillo will be returning to the district and joining his colleagues once again. Union leadership also recognizes that CUSD has something to be proud of with this personnel report. The district has gone an entire second month without a single employee resigning from the district due to concerns related to workplace culture and administrative malfeasance. Some may say that it has only been 2 months, and yes, there have been early retirements, but every success story has to start somewhere. And although we are a long way from declaring success, let this be the start of something better. Thank you.
Okay, I1, personnel summary. The board is asked to approve the following recommended personnel items. Retirement, 1 personnel. Reinstated assignments, 1 personnel. Coaching assignments, 15 personnel. Any questions from the board? Okay, may I get a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Discussion? I just want to say that I appreciate all of our custodians. My kids, and I know a lot of other kids, get to know them over their time at each school site. And so any insinuation otherwise is wild. But yeah, just thank you, Eric. Really appreciate your time here at the middle school. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Moving on to J, future agenda items. Public comment, please step up to the podium at this time.
Okay, so elected employee leadership again asked that a more transparent accounting of employee labor costs on future board agendas be added. Please separate the portion of classified payroll costs that pertain to district administrators, for example, the superintendent or the assistant superintendent, from the payroll costs of classified unit members who work directly with students. For example, transportation workers, instructional aides, custodians, grounds workers, secretarial and food service workers. This slight shift in how CUSD presents payroll information would go a long distance to accurately representing the costs incurred by the primary labor group serving the community, the certificated unit, the classified unit, and administrative employees. After well over a year encouraging this future agenda item, the district still refuses to honor this simple request. But for Ms. Rigby, who first told the community that admin costs were included in the classified payroll costs, only to emphatically tell the community at the last board meeting that they are not, several other district officials have even gone so far as to suggest that they are not aware of the composition of the payroll figures provided in the consent agenda. Regardless, all the confusion could be resolved with one simple adjustment to the future board agendas. Simply break out certificated unit employees from classified unit employees and administrative employees. And this would ensure the community and apparently even our district officials can better examine CUSD's payroll data before making decisions. Mr. Kapp, it's not too late to share this information, but we do understand why you would not want to expose that Ms. Rigby was once again lying to the public on October 14th. We again request an examination of our dramatically declining enrollment be placed on the future agenda. In September, we confirmed CUSD had lost 103 students. Over half of those left Aliso, Canalino, and Family School, the very schools most impacted by the gross programmatic and resource inequities created by the implementation of the DLI program. Ms. Rigby attempted to minimize the extraordinary rate of declining enrollment by sharing that, quote, over 30 students were intentionally removed from the district. We're unsure if that is a metric to celebrate, but if true, the actual decline in enrollment is still 70 students in 25-26 and approximately 275 students in the last 3 years alone. Why haven't district officials demanded serious research into CUSD's decline in enrollment? Why do so many families in our community, which has more school-aged children than ever, and they pay their tax dollars to CUSD, not consider the district a viable option for the education of their children? Why is that? Don't you care about that? Are you not interested? Are you not interested? You're allowed to talk. I think you all know that. And if you're not interested, why wouldn't you be interested? Mr. Kaff, one last chance to clear the air. Make sure we have the proper information. We figured.
Thank you. Your time is up. Okay, future agenda items. We have the single school plan for achievement, single school site plan for student achievement, special education report, the first interim budget, and an annual audit report coming up. Are there any agenda items that board members would like to add? Okay, none at this time. Okay. The board calendar. Monica, is there anything we need to be aware of?
Just the November 18th special board meeting, closed session only.
Okay. And then on December 5th, we have our school site visits. On December 5th. Great. Thank you. And moving on to board announcements. Board members are welcome to give any announcements or report outs of any activities that they've been to or will be going to or of interest to the community. No?
Well, we have the SIP Splash Swim tomorrow, is it? Or we're not swim. What's the event tomorrow for the Pool Foundation?
The Warrior Pool Foundation.
Warrior Pool Foundation.
Yeah.
SIP Swim Support, I believe is what it is, tomorrow at 5 p.m. I believe the location changed, though. So I'd have to. Is that Compass? Okay. It's at Compass.
Corner of Linden and Carp
Linden
Ave.
and Carp Ave, 5 to 7 to support the Pool Foundation. I know that's happening tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Anything else? Okay. I have a few things, so I'm just letting you guys go. Okay. So Warrior Pool Foundation event tomorrow evening. Our school site visits, really excited for those. It's great to get into the different school sites, all of them, especially ones that your kids aren't at, just so you can see what's going on where and what it looks like, and get into different classrooms. Canalino's Holiday Trolley is on December 6th. Tickets go on sale, I think, tomorrow or next week. I attended college night at the high school a couple weeks ago. There's presentations available in English and Spanish. That was for sophomore parents. They did have a freshman parent event a few weeks prior, I believe. But college night for 10th graders, the presentation is available in English and Spanish. And if it hasn't already, it will be going out in Parent Square. The school counselors did a great job of doing an overview of what's coming down the pipe for our students. Winter athletics are kicking off. Really excited for that. And let's see, I felt like there was one more, but Muses is coming up towards the beginning of December, I believe. First week of December, Muses. And so that'll be really great for those of you that are able to get tickets and attend. Okay, and with that, we are adjourned.
Thank you.